ピース行くぞ。
Roronoa Zoro will get a fire sword in Wano. Before we begin, this video is brought to you by Amino apps. Amino is a mobile network of communities for every interest on the planet, from films to anime. Like the ones I follow include manga, Marvel, anime, and of course, most importantly, One Piece Amino, with hundreds of your fellow Nakama that follow your interests who are always available to start a discussion. It's the best place to interact with your Nakama who have a common interest using the app's features, where you can browse a curated of awesome content created by other users, vote on pools, and take quizzes, like this post here which I find really cool from Roger's Base about his Vegapunk drawing competition, which maybe I'll join in too. You can also check out what's happening in real time via the community live layer, and one of my favorites is that you can text and live chat with our people. Look, there's me and my awesome theories. So if you're interested, join the One Piece Amino in the description down below. Now let's begin. Hi everyone, Flying Panda. It has been confirmed that after Whole Cake Island will be the start of the Wano arc and even the Reverie arc. The Wano country has been hyped as the biggest arc ever since Marineford were by the editors of Oda himself. Wano will have a huge role for Zoro, and why I believe this is because of a number of reasons, mainly because of the name Wano is a pun, as Wano Kuni, literally meaning country of harmony, is used as a name for Japan. And from SBS 56, Oda entertained the question of one fan who was curious about the real life nationalities of Luffy's crew. It was confirmed by Oda that Zoro would have been Japanese. The samurai, a class of highly skilled warriors gradually developed in Japan after the Taka reformed of 646 AD, which includes land redistribution and heavy new taxes meant to support and elaborate Chinese-style empires. As a result, many small farmers had to sell their land and work as tenant farmers. It all links now. Now let's go back into the country of Wano, lies somewhere in the New World and is filled with strong samurai. Wano's country has its own warriors, the samurai, who are swordsmen so strong that not even the Marines will go near them. The country follows a policy of isolationism, meaning that contact with outsiders such as pirates and other countries is prohibited. Leaving the country's borders is also considered a crime. Now, they are all powerful like Kinemon and Kanjuro and Raizo. Since the place is filled with swordsmen, Zoro will be one of the main characters in this arc. We'll also get to see how strong he truly is, as the Straw Hats will be up against Kaido himself with his crew. This is also the place where Zoro finally gets a fire sword. As first talked about in the foreshadow, Zoro will be getting a fire sword. Let's go way back in time and see what Oda did. First, in chapter 126, Instinct from Little Garden, where the arc's main battle ends and when Zoro breaks free from the candle cake while it's burning. He used a technique called killing evil fire swords, Yaki Onigiri. This looks very similar to Kinemon did in chapter 682 when cutting the dragon. The flames follow the path of the swords. And he's cutting Mr. Fire, the man who can make any power of him explode, kind of cutting an explosion like Kinemon says he did at the end of chapter 672. In chapter 672, My Name is Kinemon from Pike Hazard, Sanji, who was in Nami's body, finally rescues the corpse of Kinemon from the bottom of the lake, and he officially presented in that same chapter. When they need to escape from the slime back to the research facilities, Kinemon says this. I think Kinemon is saying that my sword is one that burns my enemies, so his sword has some kind of soul or power related to fire which Kinemon can and know how to use. This shows that it is possible to use flame techniques. Flame explosions happened, and we can see how Zoro became very attentive on what Kinemon was doing. And finally, there's one thing that makes it more obvious that Zoro wants to learn this kind of technique and samurai fighting style. We have seen a hint of what Zoro attacks might look like from when Zoro defeated Ruma. The zombie turned into a blue flame. Yes, this could be him dissolving, but it could be a foreshadow of Zoro's future flame skills, the color of flame. but we can talk about that later. Also, the icing on the cake is that Zoro openly mentioned that he always wanted a fire sword. What I believe is that there is no flame or other elemental sword in One Piece, but more of it being the user's Haki or elemental Haki. Let's first talk about the elemental Haki, then I will talk about the souls of the sword. So let's talk about Haoshoku Haki, King's Haki, a power that is rare even to most Haki users, and he said that only one in several million have this ability. The ability allows the user to knock out people of weaker willpower out with the power of the user's will, which is normally done in short bursts, possibly to save mental power. It also seems to have an enhanced form where the user can continuously use it into enhancing the other forms of Haki, which helps in fights against other users who have King's Haki as well. Is there another level to this Haki? We know that observational Haki has a second state in the form of future sight or reading aura ahead of time. Anima Haki too could go further with the user covering their whole body in Haki or making their Haki denser than their opponents. But what about Hoshuku? What goes beyond the willpower? Check out my theory about God's Haki to explain more about it. Now there's some characters that we know of who have Hosho Haki. Of this list of people, the most known is, of course, Shanks. Seeing as he was first to be introduced with his ability, even though we didn't know what it was at that time, he has since displayed it only more with his clash with Whitebeard, who too had King's Haki. Now a lot of questions have been circling for years now. Just what is Shanks' ability? We know of the King's ability, but it's often speculated that he has something more. Go back to that old theory. Anyways, I believe Roger had control over the elemental Haki. He controlled the storms, the sea and fire too. It's even possible he had power over much more. But those are what we see. But let's assume for one moment there are those that could reach a fraction of this power, but in the form of one element. So that would mean that Zoro will get Conquerors Haki, which I 100% know he will, but would he be able to get the next level, which will make him control an element? Unless the formula of this can be the existing element Haki and it manifests into a flame. We have seen this when Luffy uses Red Hawk. In chapter 682, Mastermind from Pang Hazard, the group is attacked by the dragon inside the Regent's facility while they are sitting over Brownbeard, the one who runs for them all this time. Then we see Kinemon performing Flame Sword attack for the first time and Brook performing an Ice Sword attack. I believe this to be more of an advanced form of Haki and not the sword being a sword flame itself. Another character is Thunderlord Magai, an infamous New World pirate who worked for Whitebeard. Magai is a swordsman, though his exact level of ability remains unknown, however it is presumed quite high. He was somehow able to channel electricity through his blade, increasing the damage done. Whether this stems from a Del Fruit, a Dao Electro, or now a method is currently unknown, but is believed to be the power soul of the sword. These people who were just mentioned could also have enhanced their Haki level as well to Elemental Haki. Now let's talk about the souls in the swords. Based on what Kinemon says in chapter 682, my sword is one that burns my enemies, and Zoro senses something when he had his cursed sword in chapter 108. And 363 seems that some swords have some kind of power demon soul inside of them. It would imply that some of Kinemon's swords are cursed or have a soul, which would probably mean he's carrying a Wazomano greatsword, and a cursed one. This is different from Brook because they have a curse or soul in them, but Brook is not the same. This could also be explained by Brook's sword techniques, which aren't related to his solid soul, but to his power interacting with the sword. Because of his power and his condition of resurrected soul, he can make ice attacks which could be parallel to a soul or a part of his soul inside a sword with elemental powers possibilities. And the parallelism between Brook's power and Sword Soul elemental powers could be supported by Prometheus and Zeus, which are fragments of Big Mom's soul attached to a flame and a cloud pointing that souls can be interacted with elements. These were the two options that Zoro will achieve his fire sword. The ability to cut fire would be great when fighting a Dragon Zone fruit user. Everyone's guess is that in Wano something big must happen to Zoro, and I believe this as well. He will get a huge power up to help him achieve his dream. I believe he would receive a Sajo or Wazomano sword, which I mentioned in my previous video. A Sajo or Wazomano sword are known to be the best swords in the world. There are 12 in total, supreme grade swords and of the highest qualities. Draco Mihawk owns Zoro, which is one of those swords, but I spoke about this before in my previous theory. Anyways, a new sword with elemental haki will get the fire sword that he always wanted, but unfortunately it's not a fire sword. This topic of elemental haki is a topic that I will talk more about with legendary anime, but we'll save it for another theory. Other than that, thanks for watching the video. What do you think? Please leave comments down below, please click like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to Flying Panda. And do join my Discord. I have a lot of nakama there who have joined already. See you there.
Fuku, 行くぞ!